Today's brought to you by Silvercrest Opportunity Fund, invest accredited in 506C Reg D offering, just like Warren Buffett, earning 10% or better returns in Arizona. We're here today on another episode of the Mobile Mailbox Money podcast, here with other highly influential, intelligent operators and seasoned professionals from around the nation. Just got back from multiple real estate investment conferences and branding expos like Paper Trail Real Estate Note Conference, Arizona Real Estate Investors Association, and BrandX. Shout out to Travis Brady for throwing that event because I happened to run into Jason Nemes. So Jason, appreciate having you on the channel today with Summit Solutions. A lot of previous business expertise pivoting at any given time. But for the viewers that don't know you, maybe you could just introduce yourself.
Yeah, well, first off, thank you for the introduction. Thank you for having me. What up, everybody tuning in? So, like he said, my name is Jason Nemes. I'm from Dallas, Texas. I did a lot of different things in my earlier years, waiting tables, bartending, personal training. I went to college. I got a degree. I went back at 23, graduated at 27, realized corporate world was not for me. Anybody who's in the corporate world, you know, if you're doing the deal and you love it, you wake up, you got passion and purpose, kudos to you. Just for me, that wasn't, didn't really align with where I wanted to go. So I ended up getting into network marketing, actually, which was an opportunity I told my buddy no to for 4.5 years. I had a trash bag of clothes. I lived in my buddy's living room when I got started, May of 2013. And I excelled really fast in the company. I had a 7-figure business in 3 years, making 6 figures my third year and on. I still make a 6-figure residual income with that company. So I'm forever grateful to the company, not even necessarily for the money that I've made. I've made 7 figures in my career with the company, but more so the person I've been able to become because of the people that invested in me and truly wanted to see me win and helped me along the way. Some things had come up and I wanted to pivot and go a different direction. And fast forward a few years after that, I got into the roofing and construction space, which is not a space I ever thought I'd be in. I didn't even really know how to use a hammer beforehand. Not really, but I didn't really know construction at all. A buddy of mine called me, asked me if I wanted to start a company with him. And that was December of 2023. And he and I started a company together January 2024. He had a company with another partner in Oklahoma. It's got a little bit weird. And long story short to that, we went our separate ways. We're still very close friends to this day. And I've owned my company 100% now. Summit Solutions, roofing and construction. I'm starting to say Summit Solutions now. It's just way easier. I've had the company 13 and a half months. And it looks like we're going to do 8 figures this year. Of course, you don't know how things are going to go, right? Because we do a lot of insurance work. So we'll see how it goes. But we're growing like crazy. Right before this call, I just expanded to my 5th state. And so, I mean, it's so exciting. Yes, thank you.
Got to give you your flowers. I love the piggyback of becoming an expert in marketing, because if you're an expert in marketing, you can translate that really to scaling any business. As your expertise in that field specifically, what were some kind of major turning points for you within the marketing, maybe some specific strategy or a quick tip, you could provide to someone trying to scale their business? Because obviously, you were doing something right at the end of the day.
Yeah. So, I mean, at the end of the day, people look at me, it's like, man, you've grown so fast in the roofing space. Like, how are you doing this? But it's not like, aha, I just got it, right? I'm taking everything that I learned in the network marketing space and just applying it to this space. So sales, recruiting, leadership, and culture are the 4 things that I'm a master of. But we're talking 10 plus years of doing this and being around other people that are masters of this and constantly studying and working on mastering my craft. Consistency, little by little, a day at a time. You do that for 10 plus years, you're going to be really, really awesome at something, no matter what it is. And so that's all I've done. I've taken everything that I've learned over the years with network marketing, applied it to this space with being a very, how do I want to say this? I focus outwards, not inwards. It's like Zig Ziglar says, help enough people get what they want and you'll get what you want. But as long as you do it authentically, I'm not out here just like, I'm going to help you because it's going to help me. I truly love to see people win. So I have a massive goal of doing $100 million in the next 2 to 3 years. And with that kind of goal, everybody else's goals seem to fit in that goal. Most people want to make 6 figures, a high 6-figure income, some 7 figures. Very few people that I talk to want to make 8 figures. I want to make like $2 million a month profit take home just because that's just what I want to do, right? You can win the lottery. Do you want to win 100 million or $1 million? There's always that one person that says $1 million. We all know it's 100 million, right? So it's like I'm going for it all. But with my abilities and marketing and branding and all of that kind of thing, I truly believe it's possible. And that's the difference, because I know how to recruit, I know how to leverage social media, and I'm extremely authentic, and my culture is just top of the top. And in the blue collar space, from what I've gathered, because of all the reps that are coming to work for me, is that the owners of other companies, they don't pay people, they shortchange people. They're on drugs, getting drunk all the time, not good with finances, blowing the money, blowing the accounts for the company. And I'm the exact opposite on all of those fronts. And people see that. They see the culture. They see what we're doing. They see me out in the field. And people want to be a part of something great. And like the Bible says, without vision, the people will perish. A lot of owners, they don't have a clear vision. See, I have a clear vision, and I enroll people in my vision, but I also believe in them, and I help them see that they can accomplish whatever it is that they want to accomplish. My goal is to bring people's greatness out of them is my focus.
Yeah, love that. You touched on a lot of different things there. If your vision isn't big, if you think your vision's big, start thinking bigger at the end of the day, and that will start to attract all the necessary pieces in order to facilitate, doing big things at the end of the day. For you, when you pivoted from network marketing into roofing, why did you choose roofing? It was a great pivot because venture capital is more interested in blue collar businesses now more than ever. So, maybe you could just talk about lightly, and you said January 2024, how you overcame maybe some misconception about the industry, or, how you felt at that time, or maybe a big challenge that you overcame, specifically when you made your pivot.
Yeah, what interesting about the private equity, I've been asked to merge or sell 6 times already.
They say it's the new gold rush.
No. Yeah, but we're just so new, and they value your company off the last year. I'm like, y'all, I have more in the pipeline than I did in the entire year because of where, I got multiple 7 figures in the pipeline right now with my guys, because we do a lot of insurance work. So why did I choose roofing? Well, like I said, I wanted to pivot. I wasn't sure where I was going to go. I was just existing for a few years. I was making a multiple 6-figure income residual with my network marketing business. I was comfortable, but I was lacking purpose. And she's my wife now, but my girlfriend at the time, she's an absolute real estate beast. And she started getting annoyed with me not doing anything every day. And so she's like, what are you going to do? You got to figure this out. Like, we got goals and dreams. Like, what are you doing? So I started talking to a few different friends, and all my friends are at the top pretty much of what they do. They're the top 1% in their industry. And so everything looks super attractive. I talked to my buddy in solar, multimillionaire. Talked to a buddy in life insurance, multimillionaire. Talked to a buddy in roofing, multimillionaire. One of my best friends is a developer. He always told me, bro, you got to get into roofing. These guys make crazy money. He's like, you're so good at sales and recruiting and leadership. You need something with higher paychecks. It's like, look what you did selling smoothies. Imagine if you're selling roofs, right? And then my buddy, December of 23, called me and was like, hey, you want to start a roofing company with me? I was like, boom, there we go. So that is how the roofing industry for me was born. I never would have thought that I'd be in this industry, but God has a funny way of just maneuvering you through. And to me, there's a misconception of go do what you love. And it sounds great, but I'm going to tell you this. I was so scared getting on roofs because I was kind of afraid of heights. I was on like something now that I would just run around on, right? Because you get better and you get used to it. But I was like on a 7 pitch or a 7.5 pitch for any of you who know roofing. It's not like crazy steep. I was so scared, like crab walking down, freaking out. My partner was laughing at me. I was getting pissed. But you overcome things, you get better, you keep doing it more and more. But what else did you ask about that? You asked, there was a lot that you had said on it.
Yeah, we touched on a couple of things. Maybe we could just pivot here to what was the next big hurdle that you guys overcame in roofing?
Bad people, man. Bad people. Hired a lot of bad apples. The network marketing space teaches you recruit everybody. So that's the mindset that I had with roofing. And it cost me multiple 5 figures. But on your way to making millions, you're going to lose some money. And you got to be okay with that. You got to understand they're learning lessons, and you pivot and you just don't make the same mistakes. And I'm grateful for the lessons. So at one point I had like 20 to 25 guys, and they just weren't really performing, most of them. So now if anybody who ends up following me, you'll see I'm always posting winners only, winners only, winners only. I have a video that went super viral, 2,000 shares, and I was going off, and I was cussing a lot, and it was pretty ruthless. And I didn't know if I was going to post it. And I was just like, well, it's authentic to me. And if people don't like it, they have something to say. I mean, sorry, not sorry. It's authentic to me. Don't watch my stuff. And man, it's gotten attention from all over the country, and it's getting me recognized everywhere I go. They're like, oh, you're the guy that was on that video. Like, you're the roofer guy. I'm like, yeah, that was me. So, and that's why I've been expanding, because so many people are seeing certain videos that I've gotten, reaching out to me because they like it. But I was scared to do this, but I went from like the 20 to 25 to 4. So it's like, man, this is the opposite of where I'm trying to go. But that next week, those 4 did 51 deals.
Boom.
51. Winners, they don't like being around loser mentalities. High-level achievers, like eagles aren't hanging out with pigeons. High-level achievers want to be around other high-level achievers. When they're around losers, aka people that focus on problems, that are always complaining, that always have excuses, it's just a bad vibe and energy. And your high performers aren't going to perform at their optimal level. So you got to get rid of them all. And that's what I did. And that was an aha moment. I was like, I get it now. I don't care if I have 3. I would rather do millions with 3 than half that in 50. A lot of companies out there hire everybody. I don't do that. I hire sharks, animals that are also still coachable, respectful, and we have a great culture, and nobody puts themselves over everybody. We all vibe together. We're like a family, and it's kick ass. It's awesome. So, yeah, man, that was the lessons. The biggest lessons is be quick to. We hear it. Be quick to fire and slow to hire. It's very important.
I was just saying that. That's the lesson right there. I think it can be pretty discouraging for a lot of individuals. They're like, I don't want to hire the wrong person. Well, you're not going to know if they're the wrong person unless you hire them. And then they're hesitant. Oh, it took so much to get that one person to the table. I don't want to fire them and have to go retrain someone else. Constant battle at the end of the day.
I'm also way pickier on who I hire. True. Like it's like I would rather be wrong 1% of the time there than 99% of the time, because there's patterns. Like I tell people, I don't really care to hire people that don't have door-to-door experience, or at least a lot of sales experience. And you might be that one guy or girl that just You got no experience, and you just end up killing it. Well, I'm not taking the chance because statistically, I'm wasting my time and money.
Absolutely. As a roofing business and scaling, to where you are in the past year and couple months, what have been the major driving factors of your sales? Has it been outbound sales strategies, door knocking, your Instagram and social media's, pretty hefty, I would imagine?
Social media brings me sales reps, not really customers, right? Well, the sales reps bring me a lot of customers, right? But my focus is recruiting off of my social media.
Love
and
that.
the sales are predominantly from call centers and door knocking.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So, niching down in outbound marketing instead of blanket, knowing what works at the end of the day. You could sit there and try and get roofing jobs on Instagram, but you saw that the blinders on of, hey, I want to market to people in my industry and say why we're such a great company. I love that. I think a lot of people get lost in the sauce trying to market blanket, across all.
And I don't even say why we're so great. We just show it. We show it, and people see it and they comment on it.
Love it. A lot of lifestyle,
Yeah.
Did you hire a social media person to follow you around and do all your editing? What does that look? How does that
I have a whole content creation thing. I got a guy that follows me around, shoots content. We usually do 3 times a day for 6 to 8 hours a day. They chop up content and I'm constantly posting. And all different types. It's health and active lifestyle, right? So working out, good decisions, healthy decisions. I haven't touched drugs in 4.5 years. I had that heart attack, died on the table. I'll never go back to drugs ever. I lost my little brother to drugs. And I think if you do drugs, you're a loser. And I can say that because I was a loser then. Winners, high performers, high level achievers, especially in business, you got no room for that. So if I offended you, good. Get off the drugs. But yeah, man.
Say no to drugs, kids. If you want to grow up like Jason Nemes, Jason, growing to $100 million, that pivots off of health, wealth, and business at the end of the day.
That's what I post on my social media. That's where we're going with it. It's lifestyle. It's the healthy, active lifestyle, right? And then the lifestyle like cars and clothes and jewelry and traveling. And I also show people I'm authentic. And I think it's important for people to understand that because there's a lot of people with all the flash and they're just assholes. Like, I can't stand that. No matter how much money I have, I'll always remember where I came from. 12 years ago, I had a trash bag of clothes. I was living in my buddy's living room. I had to rebuild my network marketing business 2 different times. Like, I was here, then I freaking tanked, So I know what it's like to lose it. I've been there. And then, of course, roofing content.
Love it. So what are the primary items you're providing as your roofing business? You said you're doing some insurance work and stuff like that. Maybe you could touch
we do everything, but Texas is like, well, again, we're just expanded to a 5th state, but Texas is the main state, and it's insurance work. We get more hailstorms than any state. It's the wild, wild west out here. So yeah, but we've done cash jobs sometimes, like on a real estate transaction when somebody's got to get a new roof in order for the sale to go through. They have to do a cash job because maybe they didn't have a storm in that area and the roof's messed up. So the buyer isn't going to buy unless the seller fixes the roof, right? So those instances, but I just expanded to Arizona and they're 95% retail market. So not insurance, right? So that's a space that we're getting into now as a company. The sales guys that I have there, they're masters of retail. So yeah,
so are you trying to go nationwide or you have some other markets?
Yeah, bro.
People here.
Yeah. The goal is 100 million.
To exit at 100.
Say I had a 9-figure exit. Golly, bro.
That'll do
lights me up.
That'll definitely do a lot. Money doesn't fix everything, but it helps. That's for sure.
I would much rather be driving my McLaren unhappy than a a car that's my old car, Honda. I had a Honda Accord when I started my network marketing business. I ended up selling it for $3,000 as I grew more and more. And it was a very reliable car. So if you have a Honda Accord, nothing wrong. Like, at least you have a vehicle that gets you from point A to point B. But now I got a badass Dodge Ram 2024 2500 diesel limited night edition, and then my sky blue McLaren drop top. I would much rather be driving in that. But at the same time, if something happened, I had to go back to something else. Like, it's all good. I'll figure it out. But it ain't gonna happen because I'm more dialed in than I've ever been in my life.
I think having the skills that enable you to pivot at any given time, if you acquire those specifically, you'll make money regardless. At the end of the day, you'll figure it out. The people that are trying to chase the money's going to run away at the end of the day. Falling in love with the princess.
That's it.
Perfect. I saw you at Brandex. That's where we met. You were speaking on a panel. Shout out to Brandex for throwing the event. It was great to go rub shoulders with like-minded individuals, influential people, get a different mindset, little, brain shake, to kind of get different perspectives. What other conferences are you attending? Any other associations worthy of conversation at all?
So I was at the Win the Storm event. Actually, I had a meet and greet with Charlie Kirk. Rest in peace to that man.
Oh, wow.
I don't care what your political views are, but humanity, it's like, anybody who supports somebody getting assassinated like that in front of their family on TV is just mind blowing to me. And I really don't speak up on things a lot, but I've came to the conclusion that I'm just speaking up on it. I really don't care. That's just my opinion, and we're all entitled to our opinion. So I was at the Win the Storm event. It's a roofing conference in Dallas, one of the largest. Yeah, we had a 5-minute conversation back and forth on a very controversial topic, but it was an incredible conversation. Actually, security came over to me. We were supposed to connect. They got my info for him. We were supposed to connect to discuss the topic further, but of course that won't be able to happen. But anyway, I attended that. I attended a couple others, but man, look, there's people that just go to a bunch of events every year and they don't do anything to change their life.
Absolutely.
Like, at the end of the day, I don't need to be attending these events. I know what to do, but like you said, I do like to go to meet new people, rub shoulders. I like to do that. I also went to the Aspire tour in Dallas. So I go to some different events and meet people because it's cool. I like the energy, be around like-minded people, but I usually only do like 2 or 3 a year. And I don't like to pay crazy amounts of money. I mean, I've gone to one and paid like $6,000 for this, and it landed some cool stuff. But to me, it's like, and I'm not trying to put myself on a pedestal, but I should be, put me on as a speaker at these events, because I hear some of these people. I'm like, how the hell are they on stage?
So if you're looking for a speaker,
let me know.
Shout out Jason Nemes.
Yeah.
So your Instagram, Tatted Prez, what do you have? Like a 250,000 followers? Code of behavior.
Yeah. I have like 270, 273, I think it is. And now I've gained on my TikTok and my Facebook, because I really never focus on building them. I've gained like 6,000+ followers on each in the last 6 weeks.
Wow.
And I can't even boost or run I can't do any of that on my Facebook. They banned me from doing it. So
I'm in the same boat.
So it's all organic. Yeah.
Forces you to get nimble.
That's right. Nimble and consistent.
So, you got a book online, you got a trending Instagram, where do you point people if they're looking to, get in contact with you, get a quote, or just really check out what you have to offer?
Yeah, so my Instagram and TikTok and YouTube are all Tatted Prez, Tatted, like I'm tatted up, Prezz, Tatted Prez, like the president, or a presidential rollie. So that's where you can reach me on there. And then as you see my name on here, Jason Nemes, that's where you can find me on Facebook. And anybody who is looking. I also have an academy called the Winners Only Roofing Academy, or it's pretty niche, right? And people ask me, can you help me in this industry? Yes, I can. I just like to have my coaching group niche because you have better results when you're in a niche specific coaching. But yeah, I mean, I was getting asked 2 to 3 times a day. Like, hey, do you offer coaching? Hey, can I pick your brain? Hey, and I don't do the pick your brain anymore. I did it twice. I went out like to grab a coffee or breakfast, and all the people did was talk about themselves the entire time. And it just, I mean, that's cool and all, but like I'm a very, very busy individual, and you got to use your time wisely when you're running companies. So, and it's not about like I'm better than you or anything like that. As you level up more and more, like I've been on calls for the last 5 hours, right? Doing different things and focusing on growing and scaling my businesses. So you have to be very mindful how you are spending / investing your time. And I recently got married in March, so I got to make sure I have time for my wife and family. And it's like, how do you do all these things, right? So to just go meet somebody for coffee or a breakfast or a dinner, it's like, no offense, but I can buy my own coffee, right? If you want me to provide you a lot of value to help scale and grow your business with something that I have 12 plus years of experience as far as like the culture, the leadership, recruiting, and all, scaling and all of that, I mean, there's a price to pay. However, it is an investment because I'm like, I have 2 guys that are going to make $500,000 this year. And that makes me a good amount of money too. So like the amount of money that I charge is nowhere near what you're going to bring to you. So I do, if you're looking to, if you're in sales for roofing, or you're an owner of a company looking to get past where you're currently at, I can help you. Hit me up at any of those platforms. I check everything. So there you go.
Boom. Well, that's Jason Nemes. Thanks so much for being on the channel today. Go back.
I appreciate it.
Go back and view the previous podcast, the vlogs, the masterminds, the highly influential individuals on the channel. That's what we call one step closer to financial freedom. Jason, that's what we call mobile mailbox money.
I love it, man. I love it.
Being here today. Everyone have a great